Okay, so boom, y'all already know what time it is. You tuned in with Big Joe T and Lil Joe T, and we about to get it in. Pops, you got anything you want to say real quick?
Man, yeah, I do real quick. Again, like I always say, I appreciate the opportunity to do this with you, man, and I appreciate all the support out there. But I'm like you, let's get it on, man. Let's get it on.
And before we get started, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't already locked in on my daddy podcast, go subscribe to his podcast. Go tune in. You know what I'm saying? His podcast is Doing Time with Joe. It's DOIN. Time with Joe, and I'm gonna put the link in the description, man. I'm pretty sure you will enjoy the conversation that he be having on the things that he talk about that goes on in prison, man. Y'all go check that out, you know what I'm saying? And for the people who have done went, you know what I'm saying, I also want to say, you know what I'm saying, I appreciate that love, and you know what I'm saying, y'all support, you know what I'm saying, my pops. But look, check this out. You know what I'm saying? I know this is a conversation I know a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, always talked about in the penitentiary. And I remember sitting in the cell with my daddy, you know what I'm saying, I'm looking at him, he looking at me, we looking at each other. And I remember him telling me this story about the first time you seen with your own eyes an affiliate engaged in homosexuality. I think you was at River Bend, and I'm pretty. And this guy was affiliated. I got other things I want to talk about. Well, I wanted to talk about this real quick first. When tell the story about how that happened. Like, what happened?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to call the guy's name, right? But I was on Max, believe it or not, right? Mm-hmm. And when I was on Max, you know, I got a job working in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? In unit 1, you know, the kitchen is in the building, right? Mm-hmm. So I was coming out one day. This guy, he had the shift before me, right? Mm-hmm. So they had woke me up early to come out. You know, they wake you up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get the meals ready to pass out to the guys, okay? Mm-hmm. So I come out, and I see, well, I hear, first of all, when I'm coming out, I hear all this sound like, you know, I'm hearing, I'm walking up, I'm like, dang, is this somebody like come up, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking it's some officers or an officer in the email. I didn't really know what to expect. I wasn't expecting that. So as I step around the corner, I look, and I can see through the crack of the door. I'm being nosy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I look through the crack of the door, and I see one of the guys, he got this white dude bent over the steamers. Now, the steamers where the food goes. Now, this is where our food's been cooked. He got him bent over the steamers. They ain't got on no clothes. They going at it. I'm talking about going at it. It wasn't no warm up to sex. They was actually having sex. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I snapped. I snapped out, man. I snapped out.
Now, with you seeing that, of course, you affiliated with the same thing this person is affiliated with. Did this man have any kind of status at the time?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He had big status.
Okay.
He had big status. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. Not only did he have status, I remember you telling me that they believed in if you had a certain amount of time. Because a lot of people ask me this, or where they try to say it's a green light for that kind of activity. Like, what was the conversation around that you had?
Okay, the conversation around that was if you had 25 years or more, it was okay to engage in those activities, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that was, again, let me say, that wasn't true. It was just that a lot of guys had started pushing that and was trying to say that it came from the top, that this was legal. You know what I'm saying? And legit and allowed. But it was made up. They made that up. And yeah. That was 25 years or more. Okay.
Now I remember you telling me you eventually it came back around and you approached him about it. Like this, I think this was your first time you explained, like in prison, you was in a scary situation. And what happened?
Yeah, this dude a real killer, man. He's a real killer. He's in the penitentiary for killing like 4 people. You know what I'm saying? With his hands and a knife. He didn't do it with a gun. This is up close and personal. So this is a real killer, right? Mm-hmm. So when I approach him and I'm talking to him about it, to him it is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is. There ain't nothing. What you want to do, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not a coward. I'm not weak, but I understand the stage, man. If I'm not willing to go all the way with it about this issue, I need to stand down. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But I got really upset about that because this dude is one of the dudes that people look to on the compound for leadership and guidance and all this and that. But he's saying one thing and doing another. And then it went beyond that, boo, because this same individual was an individual he was taking these guys that was homosexual and putting them on. And when I say put on, I mean he was making them gangsters. You feel what I'm saying?
Wow.
But they were really his lovers. You feel what I'm saying? They were really his lovers. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And I think if I remember right, if this is the right situation, I remember you telling me he slammed you on the ground or something, right? He told you to stay out of it, like you didn't understand. You was fresh.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, we did get into it. You know what I'm saying? And it was out back on the rec pile though. We wasn't, because you got to remember we was on Max, so on the back you got rec cage, but they used to let us, you know what I'm saying, be a little bit liberal, and we could get in the cage with each other and all this. And yeah, we ended up getting the fight. We got to tussle about that.
And I know he was telling you didn't understand or whatever he was trying to. Yeah. And
because I hadn't been at that time. I think I hadn't been in, and counting my county jail time and all, I hadn't been in 5 years.
Yeah.
I hadn't been locked up long at all, and he was telling me I didn't get it. I didn't understand what that was all about, why you needed to have that kind of companionship and so on and so forth. I didn't care what I didn't understand. All I knew was that the rules said this, and at that time I was what you call GD crazy, right? You gonna follow the rules or not? You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I'm being real. I was intimidated by that because this dude, like I say, he had that reputation. He was a real killer. I think probably the only reason that he didn't take that opportunity to kill me or try to kill me is because I was one of the guys. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And so, and with that, I wanted to start it off with that conversation because I see a lot of videos, I see a lot of talk about this, I see a lot of movies about this. In the movies, they always portray, if you go in prison like this, a huge risk or a huge chance of you getting raped. That wasn't my experience. I didn't see that in there. If you go in there and you carrying yourself a certain way, it's not people in there who preying on you, putting candy on your pillow and doing out the days that when I went to prison.
Yeah, see, a lot of things, right, you're right. As the years went on, a lot of things changed. It became more where they wasn't taking it, and when I say taking, I mean raping you. It became more consensual. You know what I'm saying? Where you didn't have to, worry about somebody trying to do that. Back in the day, man, rape was used as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? To scare you. To turn you out to what we call in here making you into a boy, so that somebody can rule over and dominate you, man. That was just part of the landscape. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and if you wasn't with it, you know what I'm saying? If you wasn't the predator, you was the prey. You feel what I'm saying? Or you was on the side. I was on the side because I wasn't with it either way, but I did get into a lot of trouble, and I got into a lot of trouble because I would always interject myself in a peon's business that might be getting raped or about to get raped, or if I saw them talking to him. We got in here what you call like booty bandits.
Right.
And that's like guys that run around. It's a group of them, and that's what they do. They run around raping people. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you know what I mean? And they'll scope you out, and like you just alluded to a few seconds ago, you said something about leaving canned on the bed, right?
Right.
You remember you just said that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, back in the day, then what they would do, they see a new buddy coming in or something like that. They'll find out if he's affiliated or not. And then what they would do, man, they would entice him to get high with him. You know what I'm saying? They cook, fix him a meal or whatever the case may be. And they got him in the room. They got him drinking. They got him smoking. Next thing you know, they start rubbing on his knee, rubbing on his neck, doing the things that you would do to your gal. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they would start doing that. And this person, whoever it is, he's intoxicated. They probably done slipped something in his drink, and he can't really resist. And then next thing you know, the door's still cracked. They coming in, they finna take it, man.
Yeah.
And you would hear it. Mainly they would do it in the cell. Then sometimes they would do it in the shower, but the whole pod would hear it. You can't help but hear that. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody would hear it, man. And but that's how they did.
Yeah.
And then it got more gang affiliated coming in, organized gang, GD, Vice Lord, all of that kind of stuff. It started to wane off, but you started to see a lot of those booty bandits starting to become gang members. And here we go.
So another thing, like I remember us having a conversation. I can't remember why it came up, but I remember you explaining to me, because I wanna help people get a better understanding of people who did time. A lot of time when that happened, unless it's a rape situation where you was intoxicated and they took it from you, that type of activity not going on unless it's already in a person to be that way. Like, people ain't going there. It's probably a very small number of people who went in there and then and it actually just turned. But you Go ahead.
Right, now you're right when you said that. Just because, look, rape is a violent thing, okay? Whether it's a man or a woman, all right? Because a person gets raped by another man, a man gets raped by another, does not mean that that man that got raped is gay. You understand what I'm saying? Now, but you do have some people in here that get raped and they end up continuing to do that. But that's because it's a lot of different reasons on it. I know a former police officer, right? He got locked up, okay? He came into the penitentiary. And I remember talking to him one day because I thought he had been gay all his life. And but he used to get me food out the kitchen and stuff like that, okay? So when he was talking to me one day, I said, man, why are you all into this and this? Because I'm talking about, he basically been with this one dude that he was locked up with for like 10 years or so, right? And he told me, he said, man, look, I'm not gay. I said, oh, you gay? You been with this dude this long, you gay? He said, look, Joe, when I came in, I'm a former police officer. When he first told me, I'm a former police officer. When I came into the penitentiary, I had to make a choice. And I decided to be in a relationship with somebody for protection. He said, it's not an issue whether I like it or not. It's like, if I don't do it, I end up on the other side of a butcher. You feel me? And he said, with this, I got some protection. And that's just about, this dude was married, had kids.
Wow.
But he was in a relationship. Yeah, he was in a relationship, a long-term relationship in here, in the penitentiary. But he wasn't gay. But now you do have some people that end up in homosexual activities in here, but they were gay when they came through the door, boo.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they were gay when they came through the door. Now, they'll probably tell you that they didn't ever do it on the streets. And I'm not going to say that they did or did because I'm not a part of their life. I don't know. But they adjusted to it in here so quickly, it makes me believe you had to have been doing this, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, go ahead, though.
But yeah. But again, let commercial break me, please. If you ain't already tuned into my daily podcast, listen to me. It's always good conversation like this on there. You know what I'm saying? Things if you learning about prison, if you in criminal, if you going to school for criminal justice, if it's certain things you want to learn or you might be intrigued or curious about, man, go check out my daily podcast, Doing Time with Joe, DOIN. He also got a book. It's on my website. It's called Becoming a Murderer. It's on my website. You can get the ebook. I think it's for 10, and you can get the physical copy for 12. And for everybody who been ordering the book here recently, man, we appreciate that, man. And what was I finna say?
Hey, boo, can I tell them real quick about this new initiative that I'm doing?
All right, go and take care of your business.
Okay, this is what I'm doing, right? It's going to be called the Doing Time with Joe Contributor. And basically, anybody out there, like you just said, criminal justice majors, anybody that wants to know, anybody's got any questions or comments about penitentiary, things that they want to talk about, anything like that, send me an email. And what I want, I'm going to send you a question related to whatever question that you whatever issue that you might be talking about or whatever issue that I'm going to be talking about on the podcast. And I want to hear from you. I want you to record yourself, audio or video, nothing longer than 5 minutes, responding to this particular question that I might put out. I'm going to put out a question at least once a week. You feel what I'm saying? So if you want to be a Doing Time with Joe contributor, you got something to say about a particular topic, or you got a question you want to talk about, something like if you ever watch TMZ and you see those people on there when they come on there and they talking about the issues that got brought up, I'm going to be doing something similar to that, but it's going to be an audio or video version. I just want everybody to contribute to that. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think about it.
That's what's up. That was up. And I'm trying not to make this interview long. You know what I'm saying? We keep them in. You know what I'm saying? Keep it. You know what I'm saying? But before I go, because I just did a video and I was talking about getting drugs from a correction officer. And what was your first situation where? Because I feel like anytime that I did get those opportunities, like I had to be a level, it was a level of finesse, a level of manipulation, you know what I'm saying? And all inmates don't run into situations like that. Like it's just like some kind of chemistry or some kind of vibe about who they pick and choose who to deal with, you know what I'm saying? And like, cause you was finna speak on a situation, can you go like speak? Cause I know a lot of people wonder like, how does that happen? Like even, visitation.
How you end up doing business with a police officer or whatever. In here. Oh, well, I've had several situations like that in the past, y'all. In the past, I don't do that no more. Okay. But in the past, I've had several situations like that. I remember one situation where, and this guy, he doesn't even work for the prison system anymore. But he was at I was at Morgan County, and it was this particular officer. Me and him had got cool, but we got cool because of my affiliation. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He was just fascinated by the life. Mm-hmm. He used to ask me all kinds of questions and so on and so forth. And he knew, based off of the way he acted and what he had heard about me, he knew I was hustling, getting money. But I noticed that he was getting high. And how did I notice that? The signs. You know what I'm saying? People, they get high, they do certain things, right?
Right.
And I asked him, I said, I had some work. I said, you get high? He was like, yeah, every now and then you got to watch them because they give us piss tests, so on and so forth. And then as he continued to talk, he told me what it was. And then he just straight at that, he said, you got anything? And I'm like, nah, I ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm working on something. He said, well, let me know if you need some help. I said, well, okay, since you're off, let me tell you what I need you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, look, here's my son's number. Call him. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And he said, well, where is it? I told him, I said, you're going to have to drive all the way to Nashville. Mm-hmm. And now, he said, I ain't got no problem with that on my off day. I said, that's cool. So I gave him the number. He called my son, my oldest son, you know what I'm saying? And he drove all the way down there, and he came all the way back with an ounce. And he had the pod that I lived in, right? Mm-hmm. So, look, at 4 o'clock every day when the count clears at 4:30, I go work out at this time. Now, he had to work. I didn't know he had it because he looked at me, gave me the sign or whatever, and I didn't really understand what he was talking about. I said, I'll holler at you when I get back. When I got back, I went in the room. I raised up the pillow. The pillow, he got a whole zip of work up under the pillow. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But, yeah. And it was like that from that point on. But it was, with me and him, it was about my affiliation, and we developed a bond based on that. You feel what I'm saying? And he offered, and he ended up becoming a customer and somebody that would bring me stuff.
See, people don't. A lot of people think that officers get threatened, like it's an extortion type of situation. No. Like if you're gonna keep coming to work here, you're gonna have to do A, B, and C, and they don't be knowing. Sometimes it be addicts. Sometimes it just be because they don't
might be just straight about the money.
Yeah, straight about the money because they hear about once an inmate see the opportunity and start talking about how much they could make, you know, they curious about that. So by the time you say, look, I tell you what, I give my people to send you $500. I want you to you talk $500 for something that may just something really simple if you smart about it to bring it in.
Right.
But by that time you make a couple $1,000. I mean, you in. It's just like the game.
Yeah. And then they start counting. I'll say, if I do this 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to still pay me the same thing. I'm like, yeah, of course. So now, as opposed to making $500 for one trip, they making $1,500 for 3 times a week. Exactly. And then they usually, in all of my situations, they were the ones that usually try to push the envelope. I'm like, hold up, slow down.
Yep.
They trying to get it all in. They want to get all the money they can. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
And yeah, they start pushing. It ain't most of the time the guy in blue pushing. It's them pushing like. Because they get greedy sometimes, trying to get all the bread. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's about different reasons that people do that. The charisma, like you said, they just like each other. Whatever the money is the main thing. You know, I mean, I've been involved in that in the past so many times in so many different places, man. And you'll be surprised that because they don't really make no money. No. They really don't make no money. They get mad. They got habits, like you say. They like to look good. You know what I mean? And depending on if it's a male or a female, because I've had both. You know, they just want to do things that they can't do off the income that they make. Right. You know, and and it's not like I mean, it's not like they're bad people or anything. Like, I'm not gonna say that.
Right.
But they see an opportunity and they push. That's just all I can say, man.
And then this is the last thing I want to hit on right here. It's a lot of inmates sitting in there. It's a lot of people who locked up who sitting on money that people out here wouldn't imagine that they've made in the penitentiary.
Yeah, a lot of money. Man, I've known people over the years, man, that have $200,000-300,000 put up that they've made strictly off of hustling, put their kids through college. Like me, I use money. Back in the day, at one time, I think I made like $50,000, $60,000 over the course of 3 years, just hustling nonstop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, I was spending it, but I was keeping up with, how I was making, how much I was making. Yeah, and it happens like that, man. It just happens like that. But, it's easy come, easy go, too. But I do know a few guys that were more disciplined about it, and they used that money, like I say, to pay bills for their families. I'm not saying that's, it's right doing whatever you're doing like that. I'm not saying that because, on the other end of it, somebody's getting addicted or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But they did put their family, daughters. I know one of my friends, well, he passed away, may he rest in peace, but he put his daughter through college like that.
Who you talking about, Tiny?
Bought her a car. Huh?
You ain't talking about Tiny, is you?
No, I ain't talking about Tiny, but Tiny helped his family too. No, I'm talking about another partner of mine named Hale.
Okay.
From Memphis, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Tiny passed, but Tiny was paying his family's bills and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Tiny was addicted. Tiny was addicted to the game.
Yeah, he just loved doing it.
Yeah,
he just loved doing it. He didn't care if he had a nickel in his pocket. He's sending all his money out. He liking all the, he was more concerned. He like his cell full of commissary and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just loved doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved doing it. But Tiny, now that you say that, Tiny was the first person that introduced me to the dope game in the penitentiary at River Bend when I first came off Max.
You didn't tell? I didn't know that, man. I thought.
Tiny showed me how to bag dope up in the penitentiary. He was the first one to show me that.
We didn't ever go over how you and Tiny was. He talked for everybody who wondering who Tiny is. Tiny is the guy when me and my daddy had to file at that time about the phone. This was the man that I went in the cell and put my hands on. And he went and told my daddy what happened. This is Tiny. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He got out of prison and I can't remember exactly what happened, but he passed away. But yeah. I didn't know y'all had done time somewhere else, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys I met when I came off Max. We were in Unit 5 together, man. And he just pulled up on me. He a veteran to the game. I think he had 8 years more in than I did. And he was like, he just pulled up to me. He's like, you get money? He don't know me from anybody. You know what I'm saying? He just pulled up on me. He said, you get money? And I'm looking him up and down. I'm like, yeah, wow, what's up? What you trying to do? Yeah. He said, man, look, I can show you the game if you can get the move. He said, I just can't get the move right now. I'm from Nashville, but I can't get my people to mess with me right now. I said, I ain't got no problem with that. I already got some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Coming tomorrow, right? And then we went from there. When I got it in, we went straight to the cell. He said, let me tell you now, this is how you got to bag it up. Don't you bag it up like on the street. You got to cut it in half. You know what I'm saying? He started giving me the game. He gave me the whole game. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's how we met. Yeah, that's how we met.
I didn't know
that's
that.
how we met.
That's
and over the years, man, it's like we'll be at different places and stuff like that. He would just, we stayed in touch. And, it was just a natural thing when me and him got back together, you know what I'm saying, up at Northeast, that once I got it in, it's like, here you go. I didn't even have to count it. I just give it to him and I would know what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it was with us, yeah.
But look, check this out, man. This is our interview for the day, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation, man. If it's something y'all want to hear us discuss or talk about, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the prison politics and things that go on in prison, man, y'all jump in the comment section and let us know, you know what I'm saying, what y'all want to hear us talk about. Again, his podcast is Doing Time with Joe. Y'all go check that out, man. And I appreciate all the love. Pops, you got something you want to say real quick?
Yeah, again, like I always say, man, I appreciate all the love, too. And like I said, if you got any questions about this new partnership initiative that I'm doing about, just hit me up at doingtimewithjoet@gmail.com, man, and I get all the information to you on how you can participate in that. And like I say, man, I appreciate all the love, man, and I love you, too, man, and thank you for always doing this with me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Love you, Pops, man. Y'all be blessed. Y'all hold it down.